Hi, it's great to have you here again. I continue to talk about the most exciting games expected to be released in the new year. This time, I'll present several survival games that we can't wait to see in 2025. The games will not be listed in any specific order, as we'll have to wait for their release to see how they compare to each other. But first, here are the winners of the previous giveaway. I'll message you after this video is released. Light of Motiram. The game takes place in the year 2068, when civilization has collapsed and the world has reverted to a primal era. Players will explore an open world and fight for survival against giant mechanical creatures. These mechanical beings aren't just enemies, they can also be allies. Players will be able to tame, train, and use them to automate resource gathering or provide assistance in battle. There will be over 100 different types of mechanical creatures, allowing for a personalized approach to survival. One of the game's key mechanics is freeform building with realistic physics. Players will be able to construct fortified bases or shelters while accounting for the laws of physics so that their structures can withstand harsh weather and enemy attacks. The combat system includes dodging, blocking, and counterattacks. The game also supports a cooperative mode for up to 10 players. Voyagers of Nera. In this game, players will explore ancient ruins in an open world, fight leviathans, and protect villages from threats. A unique feature of the game is the ability to interact with a mystical creature, with which players can establish a bond to unlock new crafting recipes and settlement building options. The game can be played solo or with friends, with up to 16 players in a single session. Players will be able to build and develop their settlements on islands, gather resources, and tame various pets. The game offers extensive creative freedom in designing villages, which will grow and change as players interact with the island's spirit. Aloft. This game challenges players to build homes, transform islands into flying ships, and explore a skybound archipelago. Either solo or with up to 8 players, players can create airborne villages, cleanse infected islands from fungal corruption, and restore ecosystems. Additionally, players can bring their skyships to other players' servers. The main game mechanic revolves around the power of the wind. It serves as a driving force for players' island ships and as a source of energy for machines and production. Players will be able to collect water from clouds for farming, raise animals, and cultivate crops. The adventure includes exploring new biomes and discovering ancient technologies. Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days. This side-scrolling survival game is set in Texas in 1980. Players must lead a group of survivors in a world ravaged by a zombie apocalypse. The core gameplay elements include scavenging for resources, crafting, and strategic planning to ensure the group's safety. The game promises a deep and intense survival experience, requiring players to make thoughtful decisions and manage their team efficiently. Project Mist. This is an open-world survival horror game. The story takes place on a mysterious island where players must not only explore the terrain, but also face off against colossal monsters like flying whales and rusty mechs. In between these encounters, players will build and defend their base. Players will need to construct fortifications, set traps, deploy defensive turrets, and craft a variety of weapons. The game will have no quests or hints on how to survive. Players are free to hunt giant creatures, craft items, and explore locations. The developers promise familiar survival genre elements like farming and cooking, as well as support for cooperative multiplayer. As One We Survive. This game is a blend of survival and colony management set in post-apocalyptic America. Players take on the role of a father trying to save his daughter after a global pandemic. The main goal is not only to survive, but also to build a community of survivors. Players will gather resources, craft items, and engage in combat, familiar staples of the survival genre. However, the unique aspect of the game lies in the need to build and manage a community. players will face tough moral decisions that will impact the fate of the group of survivors as well as the protagonist himself. Lost Skies. This game takes place in a fantastical world of floating islands, where the remnants of humanity band together to explore, survive, and battle monsters. Players will explore various locations, gather resources and technology, build their own airships, and navigate dangerous weather events like raging storms. The airship construction system allows for complete customization of the ship's appearance and functionality, taking into account the weight and quality of materials used. With a physics-based movement system, players will be able to climb, glide, and even fly using a grappling hook. The game will support both solo and co-op modes for up to 6 players. Light No Fire. Traditionally, survival games are about making it to the next day and hoping it's enough. But in Light No Fire, the title wants you to build a life for yourself alongside other players. You'll be put in a world with fantasy settings, but with familiar elements. As you travel around, you'll meet other players and get the chance to build up this world so you can survive in it. This is a living world. That means you'll find biomes to check out, animals to deal with, and you'll need to look around for resources and supplies to help your crew survive. Outward 2. Welcome to Arai, where survival is anything but a given. You've likely played various survival titles that try to test you to see how well you'll do in key situations. However, in Outward 2, the entire point of the game is survival and whether you'll be up to the task of living in this world. By that, we mean the title has a punishing difficulty, one that will take you out if you don't prepare enough and make use of everything you have. You have plenty of options at your disposal if you're willing to look at them, so use what you have and ensure this place doesn't get you. Under a Rock. What happens when a person from the 19th century gets dropped into a procedurally generated alien world? Well, they're going to have quite the adventure on their hands, wouldn't you say? Under a Rock does just that. You and up to 9 of your friends are mysteriously dropped in a world that is randomized every single time you play. That means that each world is different and you'll need to adapt to each version to survive. Start small by building up a base and seeing where things go from there. With lots of areas to explore, you'll not be bored as you wander around the biomes. Jurassic Park Survival is a game that actually follows up the original movie by Steven Spielberg. In it, you're someone who was stuck on the danger-prone Isla Nublar during the events of the first film but didn't get to escape as everyone else did. That means you're not just fighting for your own life, but you're fighting to keep away from the dinosaurs that roam the island. With each step you take, you could invite one of them after you. StarRupture. It would be so much easier on a person if they were able to go to a planet full of resources and simply extract them without issue. Yet, we all know that sci-fi games would be boring if that were the case. In StarRupture, you're tasked with going to a world and mining its resources. The problem is that this planet isn't what it seems, and that means you'll have many obstacles to overcome. The more you build, the more you'll be able to explore the world and deal with the alien beasts that reside on it. However, this planet has more than just minerals to uncover. The Alters. This ambitious blend of survival, sci-fi, and base management genres centers around an astronaut stranded on a hostile planet after a failed mission. His goal is to survive and escape the planet, but to achieve this, he must create alternate versions of himself. Each clone represents a version of the protagonist who made a different life choice. These clones have unique skills and personalities, which influence how they interact with the player and with each other. For example, one clone might be a scientist, another a strong laborer, and a third a more emotionally sensitive character. This adds strategic depth to managing the mobile base, which must constantly stay on the move to avoid deadly solar radiation. In addition to base management, players will explore the planet, gather resources, and face difficult moral decisions related to the clones. Terminator, Survivors. Here's a game many of you want to try simply because you want to see how well you'll match up against the Terminators. In this game set within the movie universe, you're one of the few surviving groups of humans that withstood the wrath of Judgment Day. Life has been hard, but you're making it through. Now, you'll search through a new area of the world to help your community grow, while also keeping an eye out for the mechanical menaces. Your journey will lead you to uncomfortable truths, but those answers could give you the spark you need to truly take the fight to Skynet. BLACKFROST, The Long Dark 2. The long-awaited sequel to the cult survival simulator introduces a host of exciting changes compared to the original. The new project will feature a cooperative mode, and the visual style has become more diverse in terms of color palette. At the heart of the game is a unique character customization mechanic that allows players to adjust traits, skills, and even acquire scars that serve as reminders of the difficult challenges faced throughout the game. Unlike the first installment, BLACKFROST introduces even more environmental threats and adds a new element of psychological survival. The story will unfold in a world with 19th century technology. The gameplay will feature permanent survival mechanics, but there will also be elements similar to the death system found in the game Outward. State of Decay 3 is something fans have been waiting to play for quite a few years. After all, State of Decay 2 launched and released in 2018, so fans are ready to get that next major installment. Whether it delivers on what you've played before may not be certain, but at least we know it's finally coming out. We expect the same kind of experience as the first two installments. We're still tossed into an open world where the zombie apocalypse is in full swing. That means gathering resources while trying to steer clear from the grips of the undead. But there's more to it than just surviving on your own here. Players can expect to build up a community to keep their group alive and healthy while expanding and making upgrades toward the base. Solarpunk. If you're looking for a survival game that is a bit kinder to players and is more about setting up a life than fighting others to keep alive, you'll want to try Solarpunk. The game puts you on an archipelago of floating islands and then asks you and your friends to build a life upon them. The good news is that there is plenty of energy to use for your machinations via the sun and water. So, you can build up what you need on one island, then get onto your ship and head over to the next island to see what you can make there. Arc 2. We've shown you plenty of survival games on this list, but how many have Vin Diesel in them? Exactly, just this one. Arc 2 will put you in a strange world you do not know how you arrived at. Your mission is not only to survive this crazy world, but also to figure out the truth about all that is happening in it. What's happening on it? Well, a whole bunch of people are fighting it out. Humans riding dinosaurs and using sci-fi technology, that kind of thing. But we're sure you'll be fine on it. You have Vin Diesel to help you. He's big on family. Dune: Awakening. This survival MMO takes place on the desert planet of Arrakis, where players must endure harsh conditions, harvest the valuable resource known as spice, and battle colossal sandworms. The game features an open world where hundreds of players can interact, form alliances, build bases, and participate in large-scale battles for control of the spice. Developers promise a deep and immersive survival experience within the iconic Dune universe, allowing players to create their own stories and influence the fate of the planet. Subnautica 2. The sequel to the beloved underwater survival series is scheduled for release in 2025. The main new feature that immediately caught the attention of fans is the introduction of cooperative play for up to 4 players. For the first time in the series, full multiplayer support will be an official part of the game, rather than a community-made modification. The gameplay retains the core elements of the original, but shifts the action to an entirely new planet, offering players the chance to explore unique biomes, encounter never-before-seen creatures, and uncover the mysteries of the underwater world. One of the key new features is the ability to modify the player's DNA to gain special abilities. Visually, the game takes a major leap forward with the transition to Unreal Engine 5, offering more stunning and immersive graphics. As you can see, There are plenty of exciting survival games to look forward to. Let's hope all of them are released next year. If you'd like to participate in the Steam Key giveaway, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment. I'll reveal 5 random winners in the next video. The Image Game channel was with you. Have a nice day.